Welcome back to another episode of
Translate
Translate
This.
This, a podcast about language and culture.
And everything else. Oh, I messed it up.
That's okay.
It's been a while,
I
but
know.
we're back.
Language, culture, life, and the hilarity
Oh, I
of it
forgot
all.
about life. Yeah.
What's a
It's easy.
little thing to forget
Easy
about?
to forget about life.
Sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
So this is Translate This with Richard and Melissa. We are your hosts today. And if you would like to find out how to learn more about us, you can find us on social media. You can go to our webpage at translatetthis-podcast.com. You can go to Facebook at facebook.com/translate this podcast. And you can find us on Instagram at translate this_podcast. But any of those places, you can find us and you can also listen to us here, and hopefully we'll entertain you for the next few minutes.
Well, you found us already if you're listening to us now, right?
Yeah. And you know what? Sources tell me
Mhm.
we have more than 3.5 listeners.
Great. So
Yeah.
we beat our quota.
We
I
beat
think
our
we're at 4.
quota. We have 4 now.
Great.
Woo! So thank you, our listeners that are out there. And we're very excited. We're on all the platforms now as well. And so that should be helping people find us. And we're excited to share what we have to talk about.
Awesome. I love it.
So we've been talking a lot about different social, cultural ideas, and everyone knows and who's listened before. And for those of you who are new to listen to our podcast, we are Americans, but we are living in Spain. Well, a few things have happened since the last time we recorded. Well, you live in what city?
Madrid.
Madrid. And what city do I live in?
Orense, but you live close to Orense.
I live close to Orense now. I actually live in a little town, which is the cutest translation in English, called Sprouts. Sprouts, Spain. Nice. I live in Coles. And we decided to move to Galicia because of the amazing beauty of the northwest tip of Spain. And not that Madrid's not beautiful, because it's very beautiful.
Well, I feel so honored to come out here because Galicia is a little corner of Spain that I ignored all my traveling years. And I come out here for the first time. I just arrived last night, and it's like a wonderland, a paradise. It's just green and beautiful. We were thinking if it was close to the Pacific Northwest, but it's different. It's just a different atmosphere. Everything feels amazing out here. So
yeah, and we love it. We think of it as the Pacific Northwest had a baby with like Virginia and North Carolina.
Yes.
And then the Great Smoky Mountains.
I think you're right. The more I'm here, the more I understand what you're talking about, because I've been in both.
Yeah. I think laterally we are around the latitude of Medford, Oregon, about that location.
I see.
The whole weather out here is just ridiculous. Yeah. So they call it the Ireland of Spain.
Well, it's amazing. It was cool. I came by train, so I took the scenic route. So I saw a lot of beautiful countryside, a lot of rolling hills, just fantastic. So it's a treat to be out here.
Yeah, no, we are really excited about that. And I think that this is the first time that you have visited us since we moved here, which for us was great because we haven't had a lot of guests. Because, and you talked about how you ignored being out here.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have ignored coming to Galicia because they just don't know about it. They don't know about most of this area. They completely, I don't know. I don't know why that is, but what I do know is that it's a wonderful situation for us to discover something that no one knows about. And for me, I would much rather have an opportunity to live somewhere that's undiscovered territory. So that's what we're doing out here. And we have a farm. So we're going
to get the best of both worlds. You know, you've lived in the Pacific Northwest for decades, right?
Yeah.
And you're really in Spain. So you have a mixture of that kind of Pacific Northwest feel. It's kind of lesser populated,
right?
Lesser discovered, quote unquote. But you also have Spain.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Spanish culture. So and Galician on top of that, its own unique way of life, right?
Completely, and we have as some of you may know in the other podcast, there's another language here, not just Castellano, which
Mhm,
is what the world knows as Spanish,
mhm.
but they speak Gallego here,
Gallego, right. And you're
which
picking up a lot, aren't you?
I'm picking up a lot of that,
Yeah.
which is interesting because if you were to tell somebody I lived in this big city next
Mhm,
to me in Castellano, you'd say Orense.
mhm.
But here it's Urense.
Wouldn't
They put
okay.
that U after
Mhm,
the O.
mhm,
Um, the little area that we're at is called nearby is called Aperosha, which looks like in English like a peroxa, but the A means la,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And O means L.
mhm,
So you see a lot of that. One of the first words that I learned was when I was in a parking lot and it said for the exit sign, instead of
mhm.
saying salida,
Uh-huh.
it said saída.
Saída. Hmm.
So it's very, very much a cross in my mind between Portuguese and
Mhm,
Spanish,
mhm,
but spoken like Italian, a little bit more rhythmically,
mhm.
like some of the, not all the Italian accents, but some of the ones that are just more very animated.
Yeah.
Even the locals, they consider themselves to sound more Italian than they do
Mhm.
Portuguese or Spanish.
Wow.
But the sound of the words, like the actual
Mhm,
structure of the words,
mhm.
it's like this blend
Yeah.
of the 2. So it's fascinating to me, but also it's a little dangerous because since I hear so much of it
Mhm,
and I still am mastering my Spanish,
mhm.
I'm getting confused now, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is that a Gallego word or is
Uh-huh,
it Castellano?"
uh-huh.
And if I'm gonna learn it that way, I might,
Mhm.
like, learn something that
You're cross-pollinating language.
cross-pollinating,
Yeah.
which
And
is
then you come up with your own words.
then I come up
Right.
with my own words. So this week, I decided that we would talk about Spain, which is what we're doing right now, which is we haven't done enough of because
Mhm,
I feel like, well, our listeners know we're here and we haven't really
mhm.
said much about Spain. So now you learned a little bit about Galicia, which we're going to do a different episode on that in the
Great.
near future.
Be
Because,
fun.
yes, because we're going to discuss one of the reasons why we're here also is to live by the Rio Minho and
Mhm,
be next to the Ribera Sacra area,
mhm.
which is basically wine country of
Delicious wine, by
Spain.
the way, all of you.
It's the Pinot Noir of Spain.
Remember that word.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing.
Mhm,
We have different culture in Spain than we have in
mhm.
the United States, and we
Yes.
have different holidays.
Mhm,
Well, there's a holiday that is a global holiday
mhm,
that I wanted to focus on for this podcast because it is such a different way to celebrate.
mhm.
And I don't think a lot of people who are not of the Christian faith know how different it is,
Okay.
and that is Easter.
Okay.
And it's completely different
Mhm.
than the United States in my mind
Yeah.
of how it's celebrated and what they do. But there's some really I'm starting to laugh in my head
Mhm,
because there's some strange things for Americans when they're watching it
mhm.
that we are going to question.
Right.
I'm going to get to that. So, what I'm going to talk about today is why is Easter here bigger than Christmas? Why is Holy Week not just Holy Day?
Mhm.
Why is there's no chocolate? Like, why don't we have chocolate? Where are the peeps? Where
Right.
are the
Uh,
marshmallow bunny peeps?
yeah, okay.
And what's up with all the statues, the religious statues walking
Uh,
around with people that look like they're in the KKK carrying them?
oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
shocking for those of you who haven't, experienced some Spanish holidays, it's like, just somebody punching you in the face,
Pretty
and you see
much.
them walking down, and it's like a religious thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm gonna get into all of that fun stuff on this episode of Translate This because translate this Easter week
Mhm. Oh,
in Spain.
that's great.
Here we go. All right. So, according to Have Amigos, they tell us that Palm Sunday kicks off the Semana Santa, which is Holy Week.
Right.
And this is during the week of when Christians remember the passion of the Christ and the few days left of Jesus, and when, he was to return to Jerusalem on Palm Sunday and ending with the crucifixion of him on Good Friday.
Right.
So this is why we have Holy Week, and each day it's called Holy
Mhm.
Monday, Holy Tuesday, Holy Wednesday, Holy Thursday, and they have different things going on. It is bigger than
Mhm.
Christmas
Mhm.
because in Christianity,
Right.
the resurrection of Jesus Christ
Mhm.
is more important than his birth because that in the faith of Christians all
Right.
over the world and Catholics, it means that's when he was able to atone for the sins of all mankind and then be able to, ascend to heaven to be
Mhm.
with the Holy Father or God
Mhm.
and the Holy Spirit
Right.
and the Holy Trinity is the three of them. And it basically is what the whole point of Christianity is about this moment. So this is why it's bigger than Christmas. However, in as an American,
Mhm.
and we're talking, coming from a secular background,
Mhm. Mhm.
all of that to me had nothing to do with my life. And I'm like, what's going on here? Why?
Yeah.
So because it's bigger than Christmas,
Right.
everything's shut down
Yeah. For the week
for the
out here.
week.
Phew. That's so
Like
you really gotta prepare for that.
you have to prepare. Like there's not a lot of things open.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
especially on Palm Sunday and Good Friday and then
Mhm.
Easter. I
Mhm.
mean, like
Mhm.
Sundays, especially in Galicia,
Yeah.
everything's shut down. They take
Yeah.
siesta very seriously
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
Where you're at in Madrid,
Mhm.
remember we used to see a lot of stuff open on
Yeah.
Sunday.
There's a lot open and, the small family stores are closed,
Right.
but any chain stores are all open.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Pretty
But
much every day.
but not here. Not
Right.
here. Like we went out even on so they have siesta here in Galicia, and I know I'm bird walking a little bit, but from
Mhm.
2:30 to 5 p.m.
Right.
in Galicia, everything's shut down
Yeah.
every day of
Mhm.
the week, even including Saturdays,
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
things are only open on Saturdays until 2:30, and sometimes if anything's open at all, or two
Mhm.
o'clock. Producer Lauren's saying no, 2 o'clock.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Sundays, if it's open at all, it's open
Yeah.
like till 2 o'clock at the most, and that's it.
You feel it out here, right?
Oh,
Smaller towns.
absolutely,
Yeah. When I lived in France a long time ago, I was like actually living in a small town
yeah,
in France, and Sundays, everything like you wouldn't even see a car drive on a
no,
Sunday.
no,
And I just needed some bread.
I
I just
know,
needed a
yeah,
loaf of
a
bread,
loaf of bread, some
feed
cheese,
my kids.
yeah, yeah,
Couldn't find a place.
no.
Yeah. So it was a
Yeah.
shock for me.
Yeah. Well, so and then this goes in with that. So you have a whole week
Mhm.
of things happening that
Yeah.
are focused on religion that you may not be
Mhm.
participating in as
Mhm.
an expat.
Yeah.
And as a business person,
Mhm.
how do you deal with that? Like, I think that is very, very interesting that even in this day and age where people do practice Christianity,
Mhm.
but maybe you're not as beholden to, being devout.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a little bit more on the Creaster people, as we call
Creaster.
Creast you know the Creaster?
Tell me about it.
So, it's Catholics that
Uh-huh.
go to mass on Christmas and Easter.
Okay.
Creasters.
So what do you call people who only go to mass for Christmas only?
I don't know, maybe Christers,
Ki
maybe
Christers. No.
mass people. I don't know. But what I do know
Mhm.
is that, it was a real shock to me to
Mhm.
see this. Now, producer Lauren lived in Guatemala, and when she was in Guatemala, she experienced Semana Santa,
Yeah.
and you lived in
I did
Guatemala,
too.
and you experienced Semana
In
Santa
Antigua.
in
Yeah.
Antigua, which
It was amazing.
huge, right?
Fantastic. Yes.
It's totally huge.
Mhm.
Well, here in Spain, the largest
Mhm.
celebration is in Sevilla,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
really
interesting.
interesting
Uh-huh.
because where is that in the country?
South.
Right.
Mhm.
Bordering
Close to Portugal?
No, but
No.
bordering Northern Africa,
Right.
right?
Okay.
We're headed toward non-Christian countries.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think it's interesting
Mhm.
that the largest
Mhm.
celebrations are
Mhm.
in the south of the country.
Would you say specifically Andalusia?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that has to do with
Mhm.
the fact that they were dominated by Muslims for so many years, right? And then but they had Muslim religion, they had the Jewish religion, and
Mhm.
they had the Catholic religion
Yes.
living all simultaneously,
Yes.
harmoniously together
About
until
a
they
thousand
weren't
years ago.
about 1,000 years, yeah,
Mhm.
until it didn't happen anymore.
Mhm.
But so I almost feel like ever since that happened and
Mhm.
then Catholicism was,
Mhm.
the thing,
Yeah.
everything is extra celebrated related to Catholicism
Right.
in the South, almost like they're giving the big "fu"
Yeah.
to the other
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
countries, like,
To kinda
"Here we are,
say,
look at
"Hey"
us."
yeah, I get that. And also, it's coincidental that that strong religious background carried into the Americas, and a
Yes.
lot of the people
Yep.
who are from Spain that had immigrated are from Andalusia.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's interesting too.
It is
Mhm.
interesting because, the United States, no matter how diverse the religions are there, it's still, last I checked, about 70% Catholic. But of that, I think people now, they say they're like 81% religious in the United
Mhm.
States, which is, I guess, declining. It's still a really high number, though.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. So Holy Week, I don't know why we didn't replicate that in the United States. I find it interesting that there is such a disparity because in the rest of the Americas,
Yeah.
there's Holy Week.
Mhm. Well, I was when you were talking about it, I was, like, going back in time, being nostalgic, thinking, "What did I do?" My
Yeah.
real secular parents and,
Yeah.
trying to pretend that we're religious, but,
Mhm.
uh, and all I can think of for Easter was ham. That's it.
Exactly.
But there was nothing else. And I go,
Hey,
"Why do we eat ham on Easter? Like, what's the connection here?" No one would explain anything. We're just, "Here, have ham."
have some ham and be quiet
Yes. Yeah.
and some
We're
peeps.
celebrating.
We're
What are we
celebrating.
celebrating? Just eat.
Just eat. We're celebrating chocolate
Yeah.
bunnies.
Yeah. And I go, "This isn't like Christmas, though."
No,
So,
no.
yeah, but the ham was like but then over the years,
Yeah.
nothing, it just disappeared. So we're talking like
Wow.
a generation of,
Mhm.
like, holding
Mhm.
on to just a tiny bit of, Easter
Yeah.
as a holiday to celebrate to nothing. Like, maybe if you have kids, you have the Easter egg bunny, the eggs. Nothing else.
No.
Nothing else.
No.
If you don't have kids and you're secular, there's nothing, right?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's very interesting. We're gonna get to the bunnies.
Yes.
We're gonna get to the
Alright.
bunnies. But yeah, I think Americans used it as a way to celebrate family,
Mhm.
but not a way to celebrate religion in many secular families in the United States.
Mm.
I think here there may be some of that,
Mhm.
but there is a large participation in the religious aspect from what I can tell. People are very aware of it, very
Mhm.
comfortable with it. So the the basic thing that we're learning about, what I learned about all of this, is the fact that you have to make reservations
Mhm.
if you're going to go anywhere during that week or that
Right.
weekend, because the restaurants are booked
Mhm.
to be able to go see what's the big thing is the
Mhm.
processions.
Right.
So for those of you who don't know what a procession is, it's a big giant kind of slow marching parade with consisting of these giant religious wooden
Mhm.
statues
Right.
that men, mostly men,
Mhm.
carry in the street,
Mhm.
and they're dressed in those KKK outfits. They're not.
Please, did
I
you find the name?
I
Could you find
did.
it?
I found it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I found all
What
of
did
it. Okay, so let me explain. So what happens is the people that are carrying the actual statues in
Mhm.
these processions are people that are doing penance. They're doing
Okay.
penance for what they believe to be their sins for the year.
Ah,
And it's supposed to be a private matter.
okay.
So that's when they started wearing hoods,
Mm.
and they started wearing, so that if you were ashamed, or
Yeah.
it's kind of like the scarlet letter.
Okay.
So this is where it came about that they're wearing these, particular
Mhm.
hoods. They're purple
Yeah.
because, that's like the heart of Christ, and
Uh-huh.
that's the religious aspect of it, and
Mhm.
supposed to symbolize the relationship with Jesus Christ. So there's not white. So
There's never white? I
they're
thought for
never
s
white. It's just
okay.
they're just
I was associating what I saw as having white robes, but it's maybe
it's
the
not the
images
same
have
thing.
blended for
They've
me.
blended, yeah.
Yeah,
They have
yeah,
blended for me as well.
yeah, yeah.
Most of the time they're purple,
Mhm.
or there's something else, but they're not in any way related to
Yeah.
uh the KKK,
Well,
the Ku Klux
here's a
Klan.
question I'm sure a lot of people have. Who started it
Okay.
first? Yeah.
So let me read you what I have been learning about this. So
Mhm.
Jesus and Mary are the prominent statues that people are carrying through these things. And Sevilla and Granada, there are
Mhm.
famous demonstrations. In Malaga, they actually free prisoners as a part of the ritual.
Mm.
And in 2021,
Mhm.
according to olivepress.es, COVID-19 messed up these processions,
Right.
and they couldn't release the prisoners during the procession because they were canceled. So they released them into the cathedral instead. But this tradition
Yeah.
of releasing prisoners
Mm.
is said to go back to 1759 in
Mhm.
Malaga after a riot broke out due to canceled processions due to a plague outbreak.
Hmm.
So plague outbreak, just, a
Okay.
few hundred years
Right.
ago. The prisoners were so upset that no one was going to carry these giant statues of Jesus and Virgin Mary through the
Mhm.
streets that they
Mm.
broke out
Uh-huh.
of the prison,
Uh-huh.
and then they carried them themselves.
Wow.
And then they returned to their cells
Wow.
afterwards. They didn't just leave the prison.
Wow.
They're out and
Uh-huh.
they go back. And the king was just like, oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
So they started forgiving
Mhm.
people.
Right.
And now they do it all over
Uh-huh.
Spain. And about 2 dozen prisoners are released every year during this procession.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
so that's part of the
Yeah.
penance, right? So
Uh-huh.
they're
Are they the ones wearing the robes? Just
they're the
I
ones
guess.
wearing the
I see.
robes.
I see.
And then in Andalusia,
Mhm.
they also sing these songs called saetas.
Okay.
And they're these emotive songs that are believed to have come from religious Jewish background songs.
Mhm.
And they sing about Christ and Mary and the penitents. And the penitents are the ones wearing the hoods.
Okay.
And it's sung a cappella, and they
Mhm.
beat drums as they go by.
Okay.
And according to Andalusia.com, they also have songs that accompany flamenco dancers,
Hmm.
which is also, as you know, from Andalusia.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
saetero, or
Mhm.
the singer of the saeta,
Right.
they basically inspire the whole scene of the procession and the people and the atmosphere. They kind of just make everything better. And then there's the incense that is you're smelling. Like, if anybody's ever seen a Catholic priest walking around with incense in the church, they have those. And then it's a very somber beat of a drum, and then it just gives everything this right ambiance to create these painful saeta
Yes.
singing songs, like somebody's
Uh-huh.
just their soul is just coming
Wow.
out and they're singing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it
Fascinating.
reminded me, because I
Mhm.
want to digress here at the moment, that about this,
Mhm.
these penitents that are, hooded, and they
Mhm.
obviously they have, things that they want to repent for.
Yeah.
You heard songs like that in
Mhm.
Andalusia,
Mhm.
but can you tell our listeners a little bit about your experience about the ones in the caves?
The caves in flamenco.
Yeah. And what happened when you
Mhm.
went out and there was just totally off grid
Uh-huh.
flamenco people.
Well, some aren't. The ones that I went to, you can find them on Google Maps. That it's not that clandestine or undercover underground, but they are technically caves.
Yeah.
And just from my experience, I lived in. Some of you don't know, I lived in Granada for about
Yeah.
6 months, and I loved going to the caves. Just not for being in that area. It has a really mystical, magical feel being out there in Sacramonte. That's the name of the area, the zone.
Yeah.
And these caves, a lot of these caves are fully, they have electricity. They have, some have complete living situation, furniture and everything. And some are converted into tablaos, which is a stage for flamenco singers and dancers and
Mhm.
musicians. And usually a tablao, depending on the size, well, some usually they're intimate, so they can
Mhm.
fit 50 people typically. Some of the ones I've seen, maybe
Yeah.
more, maybe
Yeah.
100 at the most. And to me, they're the best. They're
Yeah.
the best to see flamenco because they're all family run. I just feel they're more authentic than the ones
Right.
I've seen in Madrid. I haven't seen any in Sevilla, but I just love being there. So
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my experience. Yeah.
No, and it was just really cool when you told us that, when you actually got
Hmm.
to go up and be in a different part than
Hmm.
most people get to go into. I mean, they
Yeah.
have some little bits of that, but you never
Hmm.
really see that unless
Yeah,
you
you do have to walk another 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get there. That's
Yeah,
why some people don't want to. So,
exactly.
mhm.
So going back to your question about who these well, first of all, producer Lauren corrected me. They do have colors other than purple. I guess
Okay.
only the ones I was seeing were purple, but I see white ones, yellow ones, maybe some red ones
Mm,
in there too. So it's a
okay.
variety of
I'm
colors.
sure every city is a little bit different, right?
Yes, I'm
Hmm.
sure that's probably what
Right.
it is. So they have different ones going in there.
Okay.
But the name of them are called capirotes.
Okay. Capirotes.
Yeah. So traditionally, the capirotes were used during the time of the Spanish Inquisition. It was a punishment people condemned by the tribunal were
Mhm.
obliged to wear a yellow robe, the saco bendito, aka the blessed robe that covered their chest and back. They also had to wear a paper made cone on their heads with different signs on it, alluding to the type of crime they had committed. So, again, this is like the Scarlet Letter.
Okay.
So they're wearing this, and then that's what happened. And so then centuries later, cofrades, which are the people affiliated with the Catholic Brotherhood, and the Nazarenos, which people of Nazarene,
Mhm.
started to use them during Easter processions to symbolize their status as penitents.
I see.
But yeah, so the capirote still indicates the penitent's attempt through penance to get closer to God and to cover the person's face in order to mask their identity. Again, that's that
Mhm.
privacy that they don't want people to know, oh, I'm out doing penance. Because, I mean, who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe somebody's had a little side thing with somebody and they're like, oh, I shouldn't do that. And then they're going to
Uh-huh.
go pay penance for it and they don't want their wife to see them wearing the
Uh-huh.
capirote. I mean, I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I'm just making that up.
Well,
Could happen.
so nowadays, are these people just volunteers getting dressed up, or are they actually seeking penance?
I think, it's probably a combination of both. I
Uh-huh.
think some people are just dressing to go and
Mhm.
participate, but other people I'm sure are still I'm
Mhm.
sure the core religious people are still being penitent
Mhm.
toward that. And also, if they're releasing prisoners,
Mhm.
there's got to be somebody walking for that prisoner maybe,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
they themselves are getting a chance to walk as well
Mhm.
and serve their penance that way. But so what they're saying now though, for all of us who have moved to this country or who have seen this online, we have nothing to fear. It has nothing to do with right wing extremism or anything with the Ku Klux Klan. It is
Mhm.
absolutely the opposite of that.
Mhm.
These are people that are trying to have penance for what they're doing
Mhm.
and show humility
Mhm.
and do good by it and worship their God. But I did find something funny. So you know that when we lived near Madrid. We
Mhm.
lived a little bit in Las Rosas before we moved here to Galicia. We went to the Costco because, that's what expats do. They go to Costco.
Yeah. Costco's the heaven. I mean, it's a great company, by the way.
Oh my God, I love Costco.
I trash a lot of big corporations, but Costco's not one of them.
No, no, they're not. They're
Mhm.
also a co-op for the employees.
Mhm.
So they pay their employees well. They take care of them.
Yeah,
It's a great, I think it's a
definitely.
really good company. It's a Pacific Northwest company. Started in Kirkland, Washington.
Oh, well,
Is That's the
Kirkland, the
brand.
product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Kirkland, Washington, which is
Okay.
right outside of Seattle.
Right. I didn't even put that
Yep,
together.
yep, it's on the east side of the Lake Washington, right over there.
There you go.
Yeah, I lived right next to Kirkland when I lived
Oh,
in Bothell,
right.
so yeah.
So the first Costco was there?
Yeah, the headquarters.
Oh, all
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. I don't know if that's still true, but that's where they
Mhm.
started. But they have cookies that look like the capirotes. So I
Mm.
went at
Okay.
the Costco,
Okay.
and I'm looking through the cookie section,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
they have these little cookies of these little hooded guys.
Wait, what color?
They were yellow
Uh-huh.
and purple.
So with the eye, like the cap, the
The
capirote
the
and
capirote cap.
okay.
Like,
Did you
you
take
get
a
like
photo?
I should have. It was
Oh,
like, Halloween cookies,
uh-huh.
but Easter cookies of capirotes.
Uh-huh.
So
I would if you had taken a photo of that and
that
for
would be
fun,
great.
just said, "Look what's,
Yeah.
being sold." No, we don't wanna get Costco in trouble, but,
No.
you know.
But speaking of cookies,
Yes.
this is my favorite part of the Easter discussion because
Right.
it's away from the religious part of it.
Mhm.
Easter, you're right though. You got to eat some ham,
Yeah.
but you had time with your family. And we were like that too as, growing up. None of us
Mhm.
when I was little,
Yeah.
my mom took me to mass, but my mom would get me an Easter dress.
Mhm.
And even if I didn't go to mass,
Mhm.
I'd still have an Easter dress and little Easter shoes
Right.
and the whole bit,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I followed that tradition
Mhm.
growing all the way up. And we would get together
Mhm.
at people's homes and we would have Easter Sunday.
Mhm.
And nothing was religious about it other
Right.
than having friends over or family over and have dinner.
Mhm. Okay.
And that was nice. I mean, it was
Mhm.
another solid, it was always Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and an Easter Sunday,
Mhm.
and most of the time 4th of July.
Okay.
There's like the 4 times of the year that people would get together,
Mhm.
sometimes Memorial Day, sometimes Labor Day, but the big 3 were Christmas,
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, and Easter.
Right.
That's when at least I used to get new outfits too.
Okay.
That was
That's the fun part.
that was the fun part. I got
Yeah.
new outfits on those days. But one of the things that, again, getting to the chocolate,
Mhm.
because you know me, I love my chocolate.
Yeah. I love it too.
I know, it's so good. And Spanish chocolate is really good.
Mhm.
We lived in France.
Mhm.
We know what that's like.
Right.
People have had Belgian chocolate, Swiss chocolate, Dutch chocolate,
Mhm.
but Spanish chocolate's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guatemalan chocolate is really good too when we
Oh,
were in
yeah.
Antigua. That was the
Yeah.
chocolate museum there.
Yeah.
Really good.
What would you say is distinctive about Spanish chocolate?
Well, I like that it's the chocolatiers, you know, the
Mhm.
chocolaters
Mhm.
that are here. Most of the specialized artisanal chocolate, it's more like French chocolate, where they focus on different flavors of the chocolate, ingredients, and they source really good sources of the cacao.
Mhm.
So
Great.
yeah,
That
I
sounds
like it a lot. And so what they don't have here, they have those they weird Costco cookies, but they don't I've never seen those cookies anywhere else in Spain.
mhm.
So I don't know if it's a Costco thing
Mhm.
that they're doing,
Mhm.
or maybe somebody in Sevilla has them and then Costco said, "Hey, we'll just make these for all of our bakeries."
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened.
I wonder if they said, "No, we'll do these cookies, but we can't do it in white."
Yeah, maybe
You
that's
think?
it. I hope so
Yeah.
because that would be
Then you know
horrible.
that they're actually conscious about that,
Oh,
you know?
they have to be. They have
Yeah.
to be. There is something new that I tried here called a torrija,
Alright.
and that is the traditional sweet bread
Mhm.
of Easter here.
Mhm.
And it's this amazing, amazing, wonderful dessert. And I wanted to go into detail about it so you would learn a little bit more.
Mhm.
And cookingpoint.es it says it's the traditional Easter dessert. It's basically Spain's version of French toast, or in France they call it pain perdu, right?
Okay.
Because it's not French toast in France. That's something else I learned.
It was just funny when you said that that's the American version of French toast. Well,
Yeah,
is it American or is it French?
it's not French. In France, it's called pain perdu because they use it with the stale bread. So it's the
Ah,
lost, or,
that's
spoiled
right.
bread.
Yeah, it's very smart. You can't throw
They,
it away.
you know what? That's what I also love about European cuisine
Mhm.
that I don't see enough of
Mhm.
in American cuisine, or
Mhm.
we've lost that. Because I remember like our moms or our grandmothers were much better at using overly ripe fruit and
Mhm.
vegetables, or, using rendering the fat out of
Mhm.
meat and using it for other things.
Mhm.
And that style of cooking, I think that there are some very young millennials
Mhm.
that are bringing some of that back. There
Mhm.
it was kind of this movement that I saw for a little while, but I
Mhm.
don't know if Gen Z is gonna continue it. I hope they do because it's such a better way to, I mean, with food, you don't want food waste,
Right.
right? And I love the fact that there's a way to preserve even the stale bread. Now, I was looking for baguettes here, and I'm
Okay.
like, "Oh, that's probably how they make torrijas," because I had it, and I thought, "Okay, I'm gonna make that." And
Okay.
then I go to Costco
Uh-huh.
and they actually have their own loaf, their own
Mhm.
baguette loaf to make
Mhm.
torrijas, but
Okay.
it's not like regular bread.
Uh-huh.
It's like Hawaiian's king bread.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a
It's addic
brioche.
Yeah, those are addictive,
Yeah,
by the
it's
way.
a giant brioche
Mhm.
loaf,
Uh-huh.
and that's what you make, a baguette, brioche baguette, and then you make that, you cut it all up, and then you dip it in the egg, you
Okay.
soak it in milk.
Uh-huh.
And then I also found out that, and I'm trying to see where I looked at it. So it's basically soaked in milk, dipped in egg, fried, dipped in sugar, or honey is drizzled on it with
Mhm.
lemon zest and cinnamon.
Mhm.
But you can also put some liquor in it. And
Okay.
that's when I liked
Right.
it.
Nice.
You can put some brandy
Uh-huh.
in the toast, which makes it, to me, taste even better because, but other than the really good sweet bread, I
Mhm.
found out, other than torrijas, there are other Easter treats and food here in Spain.
Okay.
So there is what's called Mona de Pascua, and that's
Mhm.
popular in Valencia and Catalunya. And
Mhm.
it's a cake traditionally given to children, which is topped with either a boiled egg or a chocolate equivalent. Now, a boiled egg. So that's like, back when we used to do Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that has, maybe
Mhm.
has that. I haven't actually seen a picture of this, but it could look like that. or they put a piece of chocolate on top of it. Mona de Pascua,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Mona here is in Latin America, a
Mhm.
mona is a female monkey, right? A
Mm.
mono and a mona.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
mona
Mhm.
is not that here. Like
Uh-huh.
it means cute, like
Right.
something cute.
In some Latin American countries too, they say
Yeah.
mona. It's muy
Right.
mona.
It's muy
Uh-huh.
mona.
Yeah.
So that's
Mhm.
Pascua is Easter. And then there's another one called pestiños,
Mhm.
which are pieces of dough, often flavored with sesame, and they're fried in olive oil and served with honey or sugar. And it's really popular in southern Spain.
Hmm.
So that sounds
Sounds good.
great. There's another one called hornazo, and it's a meat pie filled
Mhm.
with pork loin, chorizo, hard boiled eggs, and it's popular in Salamanca and Avila.
Hmm. Are those must be beef, like areas of a lot of beef industry? Is
Well, I
that
don't know, but that's pork loin. So
Mhm.
that's a little piggy.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
and
I
chorizo.
meant yeah, I meant meat industry, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
pork, meat,
yeah,
it's all the same.
absolutely. Well,
No.
Salamanca
Mhm.
is in Castilla and Leon,
Right.
so that's right next to Galicia.
Yeah.
So it's toward the north, and as you know,
Mhm.
up here it's Jabalí
Mhm.
land.
Mhm.
So that's another thing for our listeners. There's a wild boar in Spain,
Yes.
and they're called
Jabalí.
jabalí
Yeah,
in
jabalí.
Spanish and or in Castilian.
Mhm.
We should be saying I should be saying Castilian, and they are these giant boars,
Have you
and
seen one live yet?
we've seen one dead that the
Uh-huh.
hunters got.
Okay. How big was it?
It was so big it covered the top of the car,
Oh my gosh.
and we saw professional hunting dogs,
Mhm.
and they have their dogs, and it's like groups of like I don't know 6 7 men in camouflage
Yeah.
gear, 3 cars
Yeah.
with trailers that the dogs are in,
Okay.
and they literally release the hounds. And you hear them, they're woo, 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 through the
Yeah.
forest,
Wow.
and they're
What
on
an experience.
walkie-talkies,
Yeah. Mhm.
like, they've got one because we drove by after they got one that covered the top of the car, and we
Okay.
asked him, and they're like, "Yeah, it's hunting season," and he says, "And that's a small one."
Whoa.
And he says, "Oh," and he's on the walkie-talkie, he's like, "Think we got another one." The
Mhm.
dogs are
Mhm.
they don't leave until all the dogs come back because the dogs know where to
Right.
come back.
Right.
So if the dogs have a scent
Mhm.
to get one of these
Yeah.
guys, they
They
bring
come
them.
back.
They come
Right.
back. They just stay out on the
Yeah.
trail till they take it
Uh-huh.
down and bring it back.
Uh-huh.
So pork
Mhm.
is also another um, thing that when the Muslims and the Jewish community was diminished in
Right.
Spain started eating a lot of pork
Yeah.
because that is, a religious no-no in those other two religions,
Yeah.
right? So that's why
Mhm.
ham and
Mhm. Oh, so
jabalí,
big.
right? It's such a big thing, and
Yeah.
it's probably why there's that
Mhm.
Easter tradition of having ham
Okay.
at Easter.
Right.
Also, that's what I'm
Makes
thinking,
sense. Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, so lots and lots of ham. And then there's let me see. Okay, we've got some more. We've got another one called Flores de Semana Santa, the flowers of Holy Week. They're sweet, fried pastries which come in different shapes, and they're also known as flores manchegas.
Okay. I've seen that word before, but, you know, I don't
I've
remember.
yeah, well, and manchego cheese,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So it's a region
Mhm.
of Spain, manchego,
Ooh,
and
what part?
I believe it is in the northeast.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have producer Lauren find out where Manchego is at. If it's in the northeast or if it's where it's at. And they look like these cool waffle
Mhm.
things where they're in the middle of them. They look like Celtic crosses made out of like Egos.
Okay.
And they basically look like they're supposed to look like flowers.
Okay.
And now there's another thing called potaje de vigilia. It's a traditional dish served on Good Friday, which is made of cod, chickpeas, spinach, and garlic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds all good. Sounds
Well,
great.
here,
Mhm.
there's a big deal about eating your garbanzo beans or chickpeas. Chickpeas and
Chickpeas.
garbanzo beans are the same thing, people.
Right, right,
Okay.
right.
Spinach and garlic, like
Mhm.
they sell it in jars. It's one of the things they're really
Oh,
proud of. But this is also made with cod.
okay.
Why is it on Good Friday?
Tell me.
Because it's Meatless Friday in Catholic Church.
Mm.
Fridays, you don't eat meat.
I don't remember that,
Yeah.
learning that in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. And Fridays, you are not to eat meat. And I'm not sure
Hmm.
exactly, like,
Where'd that
why
come from?
that
Yeah.
is, or if it's because that's the day that Christ was yeah, that's it. Christ was he was executed. He
Mhm.
was crucified on Good Friday and resurrected on Easter Sunday.
I can tell you right now that
It's probably what it is.
that law was eliminated from the meat industry in the States because I don't remember ever one day not allowed to eat meat.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
yeah, that's, like, sacrilegious to say you can't eat meat.
I know, but, it's funny because, I went to Catholic school like you did for a little
Mhm.
bit, and we never yeah, we
Yeah.
had I had the nuns in my school. I don't know if
Mhm.
you had
We
nuns at
had
your
oh, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
they
that's a story right there.
yeah, nuns
That's
and
another
priests, and they're smacking you with the rulers. But yeah, the cafeteria on
uh-huh.
Fridays, there was no meat to be found,
Hmm.
and even in some of the public schools that I
Mhm.
think my kids went to, I remember there being meatless Fridays in the South.
Hmm.
Um, because they also went sometimes they or let me see, they were at Catholic school for a few years, and then they went to public school, because there was no Catholic school nearby,
Uh-huh.
and they had meatless Fridays. So or they had options for meatless
Okay.
Fridays. So,
Wow.
um,
I never knew that.
yeah,
But, I mean, we both grew up in Southern Cal.
we did.
I just never heard of I mean, I went to Catholic school
Yeah.
too, and I just don't remember anyone telling me I can't eat meat.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Mhm.
So then there's a few more food items here. Buñuelos, which is
Mhm.
something I think a lot more people in the United States are familiar with.
Mhm.
They're fried donuts
Mhm.
made from simple ingredients of water, milk, egg, or yeast and can be sweet or savory.
Mhm.
And buñuelos are super popular in Latin America in particular. So
Yes.
Los Angelinos,
Mhm.
right? We know what buñuelos are,
Yeah.
and they're pretty common
Mhm.
to have.
Mhm.
Not as common, I would say, in the Pacific Northwest,
No,
but not unheard of either.
definitely.
Yeah. And buñuelos are also popular in the East Coast, over
Mhm.
especially in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, they know what they are there too.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm sure Miami, that's probably very
Right.
common, but
That originated in somewhere in Spain.
yeah.
What I'm sorry, what region?
Just I don't it didn't say. I
Okay.
don't have that, but I'm gonna ask
Mhm.
producer Lauren to find out where buñuelos came from, what part of Spain.
Mm.
But yeah, and the way that they're written, the way that the word is written,
Yeah. Mhm.
Buñuelos, it could be maybe over on this side because I've been learning that a lot of the words for Gallego
Mhm.
has triphthongs in them, not just
Mhm.
diphthongs and triphthongs.
Right.
So two vowels or
2
three
vowels.
vowels
3
together.
vowels. Wow. Right.
Like the town next to us,
Mhm.
Amoeiro,
It's a lot of vowels. Mhm.
Amoeiro.
Mhm. Kinda I mean, similar to Portuguese too, right?
Right.
Yeah, a lot of
And
vowels.
a lot of vowels. And so I'm thinking maybe
Mhm.
something like that. So this next one I think sounds really cool. And it's from northern Spain.
Okay.
It's called leche frita, fried milk. It's a
Hmm.
sweet popular in northern Spain made by cooking flour with milk and sugar until it becomes firm and then topped with cinnamon and sugar glaze. You sign me up for a truckload of that. Oh my gosh. That sounds
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah, not for me. I might, have some digestive problems after.
Okay, well, first of all, when you go cook gelato, what flavor do you like to get?
Gelato, my favorite, raspberry. No,
Okay,
yeah. No, blackberry, sorry.
blackberry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you go
Blackberry.
for yeah, blackberry gelato.
Blackberry,
Oh wow, I've
yeah.
never had that.
It's my favorite fruit, like, that you can make with ice cream, and,
Mm,
yeah, it's a unique flavor.
I love blackberry.
Yeah, yeah.
So oh, okay. Buñuelos, producer Lauren's handing me some information. It's coming from the area, let's see. Oh, it's coming from the Iberian Peninsula. But Oaxacan historian Ruben Vasconcelos
Mhm,
claims, however, that buñuelos are not Spanish in tradition, but
mhm.
effectively reflect Arab heritage from the settlers on the peninsula during the Spanish settlement of the Americas. Explorers brought the buñuelo tradition with them. And from there, many cultures adopted the version of buñuelos with recipes with waffles, donuts, churros, funnel cake, cream puffs. So
Wow.
buñuelos really started everything, it sounds like.
Mhm.
And
Well,
for those of you who've never had a churro in your life, you're
mhm.
missing out, and it should be on your bucket list,
Yeah.
especially with chocolate.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
hot drinking
It's a
chocolate.
big
Oh my
yeah.
god, so good. But the reason why I was
Yes.
asking about gelato is
Yep.
because when I go get gelato,
Yes.
my favorite flavor is
It's
nata,
uh-huh.
which or fior de leche, which is basically just whipped cream.
Whipped cream, right?
Whipped cream top
Mhm.
it's flavor. The
Yep.
flavor is whipped cream. It's so
I've never had that.
it's so good.
Okay.
And then this with this and cinnamon is my favorite spice,
Uh-huh.
so definitely. And it's in the northern Spain area, so maybe we're in northern Spain now, maybe I can find it here.
Okay.
Didn't say what part of northern Spain. Hopefully it's this part and not the other side.
Mhm.
So and then I've got 2 more dishes. The
Okay.
next one is bartolillos.
Bartolillos.
They're dumplings of
Mhm.
thin dough fried with custard filling and traditionally served in Madrid. Doesn't that sound like, donut holes?
Maybe, yeah.
If they're fried
Mhm.
with custard filling?
Mm.
Dumplings of thin dough
Mhm.
fried with custard filling.
Yeah, that's the thing about what's great is that you can go to a traditional Spanish restaurant and just see dozens and dozens of things on the menu. You have
Oh
no
my
idea what
gosh.
it is.
I
You
know.
just have to try it,
I
you know?
know. Well, there's a
Yeah.
very good pastry shop in Madrid for those of you who are in Madrid, visiting Madrid, called La Duquesita, the
Mhm.
Little Duchess.
Mhm.
It's so good.
I haven't been
That's
there.
you have.
Oh, I
It's the
have?
one that was right by our apartment. The one
Oh.
that you go in and have the
Uh-huh.
amazing pastries, and we got the big chocolate cake from it.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, that
That's
place is
really
great,
good.
and that's just, like, on the other side of the street was that chocolate place that I love,
Mhm.
that you brought me some chocolate, it's like a
Yeah.
date later.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Treat
Okay,
for after podcast treat, right?
after
Yeah.
podcast treat. I know. And then the last dish for me is something that I think could be served as a main course of your Easter dinner or maybe an entry, listen to me, I'm translating directly in my head here. An
It
entrada.
happens.
Maybe a starter,
Starter, right? Mhm.
which is sopa de ajo,
Sopa de ajo.
which is
So, garlic
garlic soup.
garlic soup.
It's a soup made with garlic,
Mhm.
chicken broth,
Mhm.
egg, and sherry, which traditionally served during Semana Santa. So
Okay.
it's like when you drink, oh my gosh, now the word is
For not vermouth.
no, when you're
Sherry.
sick and you drink the soup, consommé.
Okay.
So consommé is
Mhm.
chicken broth,
Okay.
and then they top it with sherry.
Okay.
And you have some very famous restaurants and
Mhm.
places to do that in Madrid.
Mm.
It's a very, very traditional drink,
Mhm.
and, a lot of older Latin Americans, like my mother's generation
Mhm.
and before, they would drink consommé when
Mhm.
they were sick
Hmm. Never
because basically
did
it's just hot chicken broth.
yeah,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, and you know all the
Interesting.
good stuff about that, right?
Yeah. Well, it's good for being sick.
It's good for being sick because it has natural antibiotics in it,
Right,
so
okay.
it'll kick whatever is in your system out,
Nice.
which is a good thing.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's so much to learn. So much to learn.
Yeah, just okay, so that's 1, that's 4, that's 8, 9, 10 if you include the torrijas. 10 foods
Yeah.
of Easter
Easter. And
s that we had no idea about
they're all from various regions, right?
of
It's not
Spain.
from not from one particular area. So,
No.
that's fascinating. I always find it fascinating that and talked about this before, but like Spain is a salad bowl of cultures.
Yeah.
There are a
Yeah.
lot of unique, very distinctive cultures
Mhm.
that have different lineages, different heritages, languages, and it's just a huge gift box of like you go in and like you just continually find new things
Yep.
and it's just such a stark difference from the image, especially in the Americas,
Right.
that we know the typical images that Spain has, but like
Mhm.
once you go in and thank you for sharing all this because we live in here a year now.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, it's just so many layers of knowledge and
Mhm.
history. So
Well, and this is every once in a while we're gonna have different topics about Spain as we promised from the beginning,
mhm.
but I found this one to be interesting. Just a lot of it because of the capirotes and people
Yes,
wearing these hoods and shrouded hoods
I
that
do have a question about
freak
that
us
too,
out.
but go ahead,
No,
finish.
go ahead. No.
Well, if being a learner, just like the audience is, because I
Yeah.
didn't know what you're going to bring up,
Right.
did you find any connection between the capirotes and why the KKK? brought them into their.
I looked
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
really hard, and every
Yeah.
single site and source that I found said
Yeah.
it was a complete coincidence.
Coincidence?
The only thing
Mhm,
that they probably took that the KKK knew
mhm,
is that the hoods that they were wearing
mhm.
mask their identity.
Yeah.
So it's the same reason that they're
Mhm,
wearing them here is
mhm.
to mask their
Right.
identity
Right.
for completely different reasons they're wearing them,
Mhm,
right? But
mhm.
it's the same purpose. It's
Yeah.
not to know who's underneath.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's why
Mhm,
they wear them here. That's why they wore
mhm,
them or still wear them
mhm, mhm.
because that still occurs in the United States that they still march.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um and yeah, that's all that's why they have 'em on. Why they're pointy
Mhm,
is interesting to me because in the Catholic Church, the pointed caps
mhm.
come, there's different ones that come like that from the different priest
Yeah.
looks that they have.
Yeah.
But why the KKK are
Mhm,
wearing the pointy hats,
mhm.
I have no idea.
Yeah. And just I don't know if I told you this, but, just those of you who think, "Oh, that's in the past."
No. No, it's not.
You see them in the movies and it doesn't
No.
happen anymore, but I have a friend, that was living in, Salem, Oregon, and she
Yeah.
was black and her family's black in a very wealthy white part of town.
Yeah.
She was visited by the KKK with torches and dogs.
What year
This
was
was a
that?
couple of years ago,
Yeah,
maybe 5
see.
years ago.
See, that's just insane
Yeah.
because when we were in the South, we lived
Mm,
there from 2000 to 2005 with our
mhm,
kids, and they marched down one of the streets,
mhm.
and they were hooded,
Yeah.
and they were doing their thing. And that was we thought that was just ridiculous that
Yeah.
in the next,
Mhm,
century and the next millennium
mhm.
that it's still there.
Yeah.
And now just hearing that in Oregon, just a few years ago that
Mhm,
happened, that
mhm.
they were visited,
Yeah.
that makes me just freak out. And I read an article, and I know this has maybe nothing to do with what we were talking about with Easter, but I read an article recently about somebody that in the South, uh, and I hate to bag on the South because it
Mhm.
happens everywhere. It's not just the
Yeah.
South people. All the United States, there are moments of racism all the time,
Mhm,
whether it's explicit or implicit,
mhm,
and we have to be aware of it. But the person that was hired to be a diversity
mhm.
uh, person for a school district
Right.
got chased out of town
Hmm.
by the parents, the
Wow.
PTA parents, and
Uh-huh.
chased into the next town.
Chased
Chased, ran out of
physically.
town, physically ran out of town.
Wow.
Uh, and it was a black woman.
Uh-huh.
It's really sad
Wow.
that that still is occurring, but
Uh-huh.
we know these things. And let's wrap it up with bring it back to Spain,
Sure.
where all those people should be wearing those hoods here and serving and doing penance
Mhm.
for being such terrible people to be so racist. Can we grab them all and make them wear the hats and trick them and be like, hey, we're having a KKK rally over in Spain. You get to wear your hood, but then we stick them underneath Jesus and Mary in the procession,
Uh-huh.
and then like shame them like in Game of Thrones and throw food and cabbage at them and be like, knock it off and stop being a
Well,
racist and learn some humanity.
I don't know if I wanna bring them over here. I don't know.
That's
Well,
true.
it's just, I like the way it is right
Yeah,
now
that's
here.
true. I like it
Oh,
here.
I also wanna say, talking about race, I make, I play basketball a lot,
Yes, you do.
and I make a lot of international friends on the
Hmm.
court. Basketball is very international here, and I made a great diversity of friends. I made 2 friends who are very dark-skinned African American.
Hmm.
They've been here for a year,
Okay.
and they told me they've the whole year they've been here, they have never had one incident
Yeah,
happen to them. It was
completely.
Madrid, but they said all over the country, it's the country they feel the most comfortable and safe, and just they feel they blend in, they
Right.
don't feel they stand out,
Right.
and both of them, they don't know each other. They met on the court, and they
Yeah.
both had the same experience.
That's
So,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
And actually, yeah, producer Lauren's saying we should be applauding Spain on that one. Absolutely. 100%. And that's interesting because this will be just hold that note
Yeah.
and hold that thought. And I'm going to make you go back to that thought again
Sure.
because we'll be having a podcast soon
Mhm.
that's going to be addressing some of that
Alright.
here in Spain.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah.
But, at least you hear some good stories like that.
You hear wonderful
Yeah.
stories about things like that.
Yeah.
So thank you again for listening to me, Richard, as I
Sure.
try to shed light on the things that we may not know about.
We need light. We need light on those
We need
things.
a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's so much we don't know about Spain that we're learning, but what I can tell our listeners is that it's just a really amazing opportunity to learn about new culture. And no matter where somebody lives, even if it's not international, but just moving from one state to the next or one city to the next city can really open up somebody's eyes in terms of how people live and what they do. And I welcome people to write us and share their experiences on what they were surprised about just minor things. I mean, that they could possibly say and yeah, share all your stories with us, please. Again, you can find us on our several different locations on social media, and then translate this.podcast.com, which is our website. But just look for us there. Give us some information on anything that you found to be interesting, or if you have a rebuttal to anything we ever say, please put it there as well, because we want to hear from you. Now that we know that we have more than 3.5 listeners.
That extra listener we got maybe is going to be a little more critical and analytical with this.
I hope so. I hope so. It'll be great. Okay, well, that is it for today. And I'm hoping that we continue to do something exciting here for people that are listening. And until I speak with you all again, until Richard speaks with you all again, this has been Translate This with Richard and Melissa.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. Have a great day.